Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Zoo Crew My Story podcast. My name is John, and I am an alcoholic. Please be sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment on our videos so that YouTube will send them out to alcoholics looking for recovery. Today, we're having a parking lot podcast where we're just going to, we have a few people here discussing the topic. And the topic for today is, what is your higher power, and how did Alcoholics Anonymous help you develop a relationship with your higher power? And yeah, so we're just going to have a discussion. But first, we're going to introduce ourselves. Again, my name is John, and I am an alcoholic. Just come on in.
I'm an alcoholic. My name's Theophilus.
I'm Michelle. I'm an alcoholic and addict.
I'm Rosie. I'm an alcoholic and an addict.
I'm Tommy, and I'm an alcoholic.
All right, fantastic. So I'll kick it off. I was raised Catholic. Well, actually, my mother was Catholic. My father was a Seventh-day Adventist, but I went to Catholic school. So I would say I was raised a Catholic. Although Saturdays, my father would wake us up to go to church on Saturdays. No TV on Saturdays, no playing outside on Saturdays. Very similar to the Jewish religion. And I think Jehovah's Witnesses also look at Saturday as their Sabbath. But I went to Catholic school. I was baptized, confirmed, and all that good stuff up until the 8th grade. So I always believed in God. But it wasn't until after I came into Alcoholics Anonymous that I formed that relationship with my God. And I call my higher power my God. Remember, you can call your higher power whatever you want it. So yeah, I always believed in God, but I didn't have that relationship until I took the third step. And I have had that relationship ever since. My sobriety date is September 13th of 1982. So guys, I should have asked you to do that when you introduce yourself. So when you start to speak, let us know your sobriety date as well. All right, so we'll start with Theo. Come on in, Theo.
Okay, hi, thank you, John. And I'm an alcoholic. My name's Theophilus. My sobriety date is May 18th, 2011. And regarding higher power, I'm going to first tell you what my higher power was. And when I showed up here in AA in May of 2011, I was very much opposed to the whole God idea. It really turned me off. It agitated me. It made me bristle with antagonism. As a matter of fact, I told my sponsor that I didn't even want to say the word. I said, can I just say group of drunks, and where it says God in the book? He said no. He said it says God when we read the literature and do the steps. So it can be whatever you want it to be, but so you do need to say the word. That was my higher power, was the group of drunks, the guidance on demand, the good orderly direction of Alcoholics Anonymous. And just like it says in the big book, that the main object, where and how do we find this power? And the main object of the book is to enable us to build a relationship with that power. And that's what happened to me as the result of the steps. I do have a higher power now. And I've been in and out of the Christian faith and the Jesus camp over the years. It's, come and gone. And I'm firmly in that camp now. That is my current higher power. Because of the experience I have with him at this point. I've experienced God living in me and God expressing himself through me. I have evidence now. It's the God of my experience. And so that's my higher power now. And it's the result of taking the steps. And it has especially accelerated as I joined the Zoo Crew. The service and the sponsorship I've been doing here for the past 2.5 to 3 years has really enhanced that relationship quite a bit. So that's my higher power now, and it's a really amazing experience. Thanks for letting me share.
Come on in, Rosie.
Okay. I'm Rosie. I'm an alcoholic. My sobriety date's November the 17th, 2010. Okay. I have always been raised in the Christian faith. I mean, I can remember being so small as to be jerking on my daddy's pants to pick me up, out in the parking lot to hold me. Every Sunday, Sunday school. I mean, all through my life. So I mean, naturally, that's what I believed in, and really did with my whole heart. And I have to say, I really, really, really knew I was experiencing God whenever all of a sudden I was able to lay down that stuff that had complete power over me. I knew I was really experiencing God. And I went into rehab and it was a still thing, but I have to tell you, I mean, this is probably not a popular thing to say, but when I came into AA and I heard about, make up your own God and all that kind of stuff, it confused me. It got me thinking, am I wrong? Am I right? I didn't know. I mean, it just really confused me. And I knew whenever I would hear people share in meetings and they would mention the name Jesus or something like that, everybody would just you could tell the body language. I mean, everybody would cringe, and even somebody would say something and bring it up about, we don't do that. So I started noticing that kind of wasn't accepted, but that has only been my experience in my in-person meetings here. But what helped me a lot too when I came on here is starting to understand that that's okay. That Christianity is okay because everything is accepted. So when I came here is whenever I was able to take that deep breath and go, okay, this is my higher power. It's okay to have it. I don't need to preach. I don't need to preach Christianity or anything. I don't have to blow all that up. But I will say that my higher power is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I mostly think about, after going through my third step and all that, I mostly think about the Holy Spirit. And that's sort of an easier thing for me to wrap my head around, is that the Holy Spirit is working through other people and through me. And I know I don't have to let them know that, that's what's happening to you, it's just how I feel and how I experience it. And then I feel like the Holy Spirit can work through me too. So, because of really the Zoo Crew, I've felt free and released to be able to have that as my higher power. I know it's not a popular thing, or it doesn't seem like a popular thing to be nowadays. Maybe I'm wrong. But I felt some kind of shame or embarrassment about admitting it. And I knew that went against, what I had learned about. If you're ashamed or whatever of me, you're not of me. So anyway, keep it brief. Okay, I'll wrap it up. I think I pretty much have said it, because I'll be bad about just being repetitive, but I'm done.
Tommy, come on in.
All right. Hey, I'm Tommy. I'm an alcoholic. Yeah. So I don't even know if I should share. I mostly came here to listen to other people because I still don't really know what my higher power is, and
That's good. That's a good share, Tommy. Talk to us. What's your sobriety date?
July 27th, 2023. I don't know. Like I for the most part, like I believe there's got to be some kind of intelligent creator. Like I can't understand how this planet and all of us could be here, and the vastness of the universe. I don't see how that could happen by accident. But I don't know. I struggle so hard, like trying. I think my problem is I try too hard to understand God, when most likely the human mind probably can't even really fully comprehend what a power that great could even be. You know, like you have the like I have that growing up, I have like that vision of like the old man in the clouds, and like I certainly don't think that's what God is, if there is a God, anymore. So yeah, like I pray every day, multiple times a day. I meditate. I try really hard to like build a connection with a higher power. But I just still have so much doubt in my mind and in my heart about it, and I don't really know why. Like I don't want to have that doubt. I want to 100% believe. I've had spiritual experiences, God shots. The obsession's gone, and I still just struggle with it. I don't know why. And I'm always questioning things like too much. Like I hear John say a lot, like, "Oh, look at all the times that you should have been in jail or dead, and your higher power protected you." And of course, in my mind, just always goes to, well, what about all the people that are in jail? Or what about all the people I know that did die from this disease? Why did God save me and not them? It doesn't really make sense. I look at all the horrible things that happen in the world, and I'm like, there's no way a loving God would allow these things to happen. That's where I'm at. It's not really that like positive of a share, but that's all. Thank you.
Can I come in? This is a parking lot discussion, and I just want to comment on what Tommy just said. That was well said, Tommy. Very good. That was a great share. And here's what it says on page 46 in the big book. This mirrors you exactly. It's because you've expressed even a willingness to believe in a power greater than ourselves, just like you said. This isn't all just some big accident, the whole universe and all us people. And it says we commenced to get results. And so look at the results you're getting. You've been sober almost 3 years now. You're doing great. And it says, even though it was impossible for any of us to fully define or comprehend that power, which is God. So you're not alone. The fact that you can't comprehend or define God, none of us can. It's impossible. But you're getting the results just because you're here following the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. That was a beautiful share. Thank you, Tommy.
Yeah, as long as you speak from the heart, man, you're never wrong. I've said this in meetings, in person and on Zoom. I'm never wrong when I share. I'm never wrong. If I'm telling you what I do, what works for me, absolutely. Come on in, Rosie.
Okay, thank you. What Tommy said too, I can relate with it. I can't wrap my mind around all of this stuff about the universe and just the vast, and I just, can't wrap my mind around it. So, I mean, shit, I can see how that makes you question. But yeah, at the same time, I can see it's like something had to do this.
Yeah, Michelle, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I'm Michelle. I'm an alcoholic and addict, 72425. Yeah, I was raised Catholic as well and quit going to church a long time ago. I had a small resentment towards the church. I just quit going, and I don't really want to go back. My relationship has been developing, and I was still praying when I came back into the program. I've always shared that I want to grow my spirituality, and I didn't have a problem with God when I came in. It was me that left God, and me that left my relationship with God. And as the longer I've been sober, which has not been very long, I see my relationship growing, and I use nature, how I get to my connection with God, and that's why I sit outside so much, because I feel God out here, and like y'all are talking about with the awness, it's like the awness, and it's like God. I believe God has made all this, and even when it's not a beautiful day, and when it's raining and pouring and everything, and I was working with the sponsee yesterday, and and she goes to church all the time, and it made me start thinking about my Catholicism, and I still believe in a lot of the things of the Catholic Church, but I still don't want to go back to church. It's like I am confused in my head about what I believe there. So it's kind of weird there because I believe in some of those things, but yeah, I am confused there. But I know that I pray to God, and I know that I believe in a higher power, and I want my connection to be stronger. And one more thing, I know it's getting longer. And last week I was praying and praying and praying, and then finally in the middle of a share, I realized I need to surrender this. And it clicked in the middle of the share. It was all about surrendering it. I could pray, pray, pray all day long, but unless I'm really surrendering it, I'm not doing any good. And I finally I surrendered it and did the footwork, and everything just worked out the way in God's plan. So yeah, so that's kind of where I am with it today. So thank you.
So in our copy paste document, we have a thing about the God, the God of your understanding. And you can, God can be grace over despair. And then I just added this one that I heard Theo say, guidance on demand. I have not heard. Gift of deliverance, gift of desperation, great outdoors, gathering of drunks, guidance over defiance, great universal spirit, Gus. You can call him Gus. Group of drunks, greatest of daddies, grace over drama, good orderly direction, gift of desperation, I said, grow or die, guiding our direction, get out of denial. You can make your higher power whatever you want it to be, anything you want it to be. And when we do our workshops, one thing we say is people can, all they have to do is get a sheet of paper and draw a line down the middle. One side, left side can be what you do not want in your God. The right side can be everything you want in your God, and make the right side your higher power. And I'm not preaching to anyone out there. Because believe me, I've been sober over 43 years. I don't believe in Jesus. This weekend, Easter weekend, good means nothing to me anymore. I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in the Bible. I don't believe in heaven or hell. I don't go to church. Although I keep thinking about going to church just for the fellowship, the communion of people. But otherwise, no, I don't go to church. I don't believe in the Bible. I'm not an atheist. Faith in God is number one in my life, and my faith is unshakable. I have never doubted my God since I came into Alcoholics Anonymous. My faith is unshakable. I wake up grateful every day. I've never done a gratitude list. I don't need to. I wake up grateful. So I'm not an atheist, but I don't care about that other crap. People are not going to be on TV, saying you're going to go to hell unless you send me money, but putting fear into me. No, that's not going to work. So yeah, you can believe in Jesus. You can believe in the Bible. You can go to church. You can believe in the Torah. You can be a Buddhist. You can be a Christian. You can be a Muslim. You can be anything you want. Christian. I don't care. I'm not going to impose my belief or non-belief on you, and you're not going to impose it on me.
Touch on one thing here. And that is that over the years, my first 12 years of sobriety, I could sense that the God, is referred to as the great reality deep within, and that vital sixth sense, and that unsuspected inner resource. I could sense God, but it wasn't until I got here at the Zoo Crew these past 2.5 to 3 years where I really got involved with service and sponsorship that I began to experience God living in me, and more importantly, experiencing God living through me now, directing my thinking, directing the words coming out of my mouth, directing my actions. Because I got to tell you, there have been so many times that internally I felt like saying or doing the wrong thing, but externally it was coming out with kindness and gentleness and the proper, mature response. That's God living through me. That's my experience. So The question, the topic was how AA has helped develop that relationship. And again, it's the service and the sponsorship that has really enhanced the experience, my experience with God living in me and living through me. So thank you.
I was just going to say, I understood some stuff, a lot what John said. And that's one of the things that really bothers me is when I see ministers, whatever, saying you're going to go to hell if you don't do this or will do this or believe this way or not that way. That's awful to me. And also, like you said, when they're on the TV and trying to get money out of them, there's a lot of old ladies sitting at home sending up what little money they have. And that, to me, is cruel. And I can see how that would be a real turnoff. It is for me.
I really liked what Theophilus just said about the how much the Zoo Crew, the growth from it. The 18 years that I was sober before, I really don't think I grew as much as I've grown this 8 months. I don't know if it was because I was younger or I feel like I've worked the steps better. I don't know the right word for it. And the sponsees, I feel like the Zoo Crew has taught me so much. I mean, I've just learned so much, with the workshops and and the meditation. I meditate a few times a day, and the networking with my women's meetings, and I have meditation videos from that, and another mail from another meeting. I meditations from that. And the way I'm learning to grow my spiritual program, and that I use that with my sponsees, and it's just I'm growing through my higher power, and then I go as many literature meetings as I can go to, and I would not have my spiritual relationship I have with my higher power today, and I would not have the gratitude I have today. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
I had kind of, I guess you could call it a spiritual awakening a couple weeks ago, because it was like an aha moment. And like, it's just, I need to accept that I'll probably never understand God. I think that's my problem, is that I overthink things and I'm trying too hard and I know part of step 3 says, a God of our own understanding, but I think I need to accept that I'll probably never understand it. I had a couple God shots in one day, like 2.5 weeks ago. And I go to an in-person meeting on that day every Tuesday. And there's this old timer there who's like in his mid 80s. He got diagnosed with cancer like a little over a year ago. Before he started his chemo and stuff, he gave me a hug and he told me he loved me, and he was like, this is a good chance it's gonna be the last time I ever see you. One of the other members of the home group texted me, 2.5 weeks ago, and he's like, oh, his name's Rini. Rini's coming to the meeting tonight. I couldn't believe it. I was telling my wife about it because she's a nurse, and she was like, you need to be prepared for him to look and sound really rough, because going through chemo at that age is brutal. I walk in there and he looked better and sounded better than he did before he went through 2 rounds of chemo at the age of like 85, which was incredible. But he was talking about step 3, and he said basically what I was just saying earlier. Like, I don't know. He said, I don't understand it. And for me, that was like really good for me to hear, because he's religious. He goes to church. He has 100% faith in God. And he said that he doesn't understand it. So for a while when I prayed, I was asking God to help me understand him better. Like, God, please help me understand you. And lately I've been praying for, God, please help me accept that I'll probably never understand you. And please just help me to like continue to grow my faith in you. So yeah, that was my kind of awakening, is that I need to stop trying so hard to understand it. Thank you.
I used to go to meetings with a guy who always referred to it as the God of my non-understanding. That's totally fine, man. Yeah.
It's cool to hear you speak, Tommy. You're really helping me, because I don't understand either. And I don't think I ever will. I'm just like you. Even though I said what I said that I do, I could relate more to like what you're saying. I'll never figure it out. I just have to hope that I do. I'm afraid that if I try to figure it out too much, I won't believe in anything, you know. So anyway, that's it.
For me, I've said this in meetings. I don't try to understand God. Because to me, only another God can understand what a God is thinking. So this thing about improve our conscious contact with God, I don't try to understand God. I'm more to understand a God. I When I get in my car, I don't try to understand why the car runs. When I put my food in the microwave, I don't try to understand why the food heats up and doesn't burn up. And full disclosure, I think this God crap is just man-made crap. To try to make sense of this existence. Every civilization has had some higher power. You know, when the Europeans came over here, they found the natives, the Native Americans, the Indians, they saw that they worshiped the land. That was their God. That was their higher power. You know, the Native Americans in the U.S., the Native Americans in Mexico, South America, they worship God. They worship however they worship. And then the Europeans tried to convert them to Christianity. Every civilization has had, and it's in our literature as well, every civilization has had some higher power to try to make sense of this thing. I accept the God theory, and to me it's a theory. I accept the God theory because I can't think of anything else. There's got to be something. I mean, where did all this stuff come from? I don't try to understand it. I'm sober 43 years. My faith is unshakable. Never questioned my God. Good, bad, or indifferent. I've never questioned it. And I don't say things just to be saying them. You know, if I'm not smiling, I'm not lying. I don't bullcrap. No, if I'm joking around, I'm joking. Remember all the times that things should have gone south. They didn't go south. But yeah, but that's a good question. How about the ones who are in jail? How about the ones who didn't make it? You know, it is what it is. I don't have the answers for everything. There is a God. Why do we have wars? Why are people dying with floods and all that? It is what it is. I don't try to understand why these things happen.
It seems to me like, most of the wars seem to be like it's over religion or something. We were talking about different civilizations have different things they do. And my son just got back from Nepal and brought some pictures back. And their whole deal was the cow. And he took pictures and brought them to me, and it just had cows just wandering around like the regular places in the city where they would shop. So, I mean, there's
Well, just want to share real quick that, all this outside stuff and, things going on out there aren't that important to me, because what I do is I follow the suggestions in the big book, and the promises have come true and continue to come true. And I follow the suggestions in the Bible, and those promises are all coming true for me. And so that's why I have faith. That's why I have an unshakable faith in God, because I'm following the instructions and the promises are coming true. That's my experience, the God of my experience. So thank you.
One other thought I forgot to touch on was when I got back into the rooms is, I was trying. I kept saying I wanted to get sober, and I couldn't get here. I wouldn't get here. I wouldn't come here. And I was drinking 24/7, and I had big books on my shelf. I knew where to come, and I knew I needed help. And then finally I surrendered, and I finally prayed, and I finally asked God for help. And then God was showing, that's a long story, but God was showing, through somebody in my family, and then through, I got here through God, right? And then I got here, and the day I got here, the obsession to drink was removed, and I had not had an obsession to drink since I got here. So I know, that God is working within my life, and when the first time I got here, and I was 15, that the first step was really hard for me to do, so I knew that I was powerless over alcohol, but I had a hard time seeing my life was unmanageable. This time I had no trouble with the first steps. So that was just another part of it.
You know what I say? Everyone has faith. Everybody in this world has faith to some degree. Everybody in Alcoholics Anonymous has faith. No, everybody has faith. Especially if you're dually addicted. If you're dually addicted, every time you got your stuff from the street pharmacist, you had faith that they were telling you something, the real McCoy. You had faith enough to put it into your body. You had faith. You have that kind of faith in a human being, and then you come in here and you say, this God thing is really, I don't know about this God thing. I don't know. Everybody had faith. Everybody has faith. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in the building you're in right now. You have faith that, I have faith that the people who built my house, did their job, and that the roof is not going to come down on me. When you take your car to the mechanic, you have faith that they put things the way they were supposed to. Otherwise, you go down the road and car may not stop. Brakes may not work. The wheels may come off. Every time you get on an airplane, you have faith. First of all, something people don't think about. First thing you have to do is load the luggage. You have to make sure that the luggage is loaded correctly and that it's not overweight. That has a great effect on the flight of the airplane. And the person who shields the luggage, they have to sign off on it so that if there's an imbalance and that plane goes down, they'll know who did it. Come on. So yeah, don't overthink it. Everyone has faith in something. So why not have faith in this thing that got you here where you are right now? Don't overthink it. But one thing we're going to get into right now, Clyde, tell us about your evolution.
Yeah. Okay, John. I'll make it brief too.
Don't make it brief. Just tell us.
Okay. I'm an alcoholic, and my name, and more importantly, my identity is Theophilus. Now, that is not the name that's on my birth certificate, and that is not the name that I went by for the first 57 years of my life. That has resulted from my spiritual experience with this God of my understanding, and it happened as a result of working here, serving here at the Zoo Crew with this group and all the service and sponsorship. I've been praying and meditating at a whole new intensity and frequency. And I prayed and prayed and prayed and asked God, what more can I do to praise you and honor you? I got a tattoo on my forearm that says faith, hope, and love, and it has a cross and a heart and an infinity symbol. And I pray every day, I meditate every day, and I was just asking and begging God, what more can I do for you? I love you so much. And this all started in June of 2024 with cousin Jonathan and I taking the Staten Island ferry across from Staten Island, where Jonathan lives, over to Manhattan. And I asked him, I said, what's the one thing that you would want me to share with the group at the Zoo Crew if anything happened to you? And he said, I just want everybody to know that I love God. And he told me this beautiful story about this man that used to go to meetings with him and said, my name's John and I love God. And it was just so eye-opening for cousin Jonathan. And we had this long, meaningful discussion about loving God. And so that's what really sparked my fire for getting to know God and love God even more. And he finally revealed to me that, the one thing you could do, in addition to everything you're already doing, is to change the name Theophilus means I love God. So every time it's my constant reminder of my new identity as a lover of God and that I love God. That's why I changed my name to Theophilus. It's out of respect and reverence for God, and it is completely biblical. There were examples of other people whose names and identities were changed, and there's scripture verses that talk about renaming us. So that's how that came about. It all started here at the Zoo Crew, and especially with that spark that Cousin Jonathan lit in me. And we are just so close now. He's my best friend in the world, and we both love God very much. And that's the genesis, and that's where my name came from, my new identity. I love God. Thank you.
Right, fantastic. Thank you. And Michelle didn't know your story. I didn't know that you didn't know. AA works if you believe in God. Alcoholics Anonymous works if you don't believe in God. The only way it will not work is if you think you are God. Yeah. So on page, 28 of the 12 and 12, I love this. Religion says the existence of God can be proved. That's what religion says, organized religion. The agnostic says it cannot be proved. And the atheist claims that they can prove the non-existence of God. Man, some of these freaking atheists are just as dogmatic as, I would say, some Christians, trying to convert your thinking. Christians try to convert you to Christianity, and and some atheists try to convert you, to their non-belief. I don't give a crap. Don't try to force your belief on me. Atheist, Christian, whatever. I don't care what you believe in. Let me believe the way I believe. I don't believe the way I just told you my belief would like to, and I'm good. I am good. I'm happy, joyous, and free. And I believe in letting my actions do the talking. I don't care how much you know about the big book. I don't give a crap. Some people can recite the big book, but they don't live it. I don't care how much you know about the Bible. They'll beat you over the head with the Bible. Same with that some AA people will beat you over the head with the big book. Let me see how you live this thing.
I was going to say, how you were talking about Christians, want to convert you into an atheist, do the same thing. Yeah, I've experienced that with my brother that is an atheist, and oh God, we've talked about it. I won't go into it, but it makes me wonder about if I call myself a Christian or not. I don't even know if that's really what it is, because I definitely don't believe in trying to convince another person to think the way I do. So I'm wondering what I really call myself. I don't know. I don't really know, because
you don't have to label it. You don't have to call yourself anything. Just a human being.
And besides that, Rosie, just like AA is a program of attraction rather than promotion, so is Christianity. If we're living a good life, doing the next right thing, show with your actions, like John always says. That's how you show people what God is, by being a decent person and being compassionate and patient and tolerant and loving and all that kind of stuff.
That makes more sense to me right there. I might not be that kind that, like you're talking about. I know what you're talking about too, because I've seen it and experienced it. But yeah, definitely pisses me off.
The only thing I want to add is the biggest spiritual awakening I had was the day, it was actually almost exactly 2 years ago. My wife and I were looking for a new house, and I felt truly hopeless. And I was just so angry with God. I'm like, I'm doing this for the right reasons. I'm just trying to give my daughter a nice neighborhood to grow up in and have a backyard to run around in. And I was trying so hard to play God, like with these other houses we didn't get, like trying to find like ways for my dad to co-sign on the houses, or my dad buy the house and then sell it to me and my wife. I was playing God and it was not working whatsoever. And I had this day where like it was like the second house in a row we didn't get. I was just so pissed. I was miserable. The two people who I talked to that day are here, which is pretty cool. You know, I talked to John and we had a good conversation. And I also talked to Theo later that day. Not because I didn't get what I needed out of you, John. I just wanted another person's perspective. And ever since that day, like I've really been living step 3. I live as though I fully believe in a higher power's plan for me, and life has just gotten so much easier since that day. So I'm grateful to both of you for being available to me that day. You know, taking time out of your days to talk to me, and it's pretty cool that you're the two guys who are here today. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just gonna turn my original sound down so you can hear what it was. This is how I hear God all the time. I don't know if you can hear. They kind of quieted down now. Do you hear my birds?
Oh, the birds.
Yes. So that's how for me, how I know God for me right now. And that's just how I do meetings out here. And so, anyways, I love it. So that's it.
I heard it.
It means a lot to me.
Morning doves, right? Is that morning doves?
There was a dove out here.
Yeah, I thought so.
There was a cardinal. There was like 6 birds out here. So they were going really right before Tommy started, but I didn't want to interrupt Tommy. So
You got to install a video. Install a video camera and capture them, and then post them on Telegram.
oh, okay, yeah, they're way up in there, or I can do the sounds somehow. But thank you.
Full disclosure again. I can't stand organized religion. And when I came into AA, and I thank God that I didn't have to become a holy roller. I thank God that I didn't have to go out there and try to save souls. No, I thank God that I didn't have to become a member of the God Squad. I didn't have to do any of that. I don't have to do any of that. Alcoholics Anonymous is an organized religion without the religion in it. We got this from the Oxford book, which was a totally organized religion. That's where we got this from. What we're doing in AA has been going on for over 2,000 years. People would stop drinking, stop doing whatever else, stop gambling, and start following Christ. You know, Paul or Saul on the road to Damascus fell off his horse. He was what was he, Theo? Saul.
Yes, Saul.
Selector.
To Paul. Yeah, well, he was a persecutor of Christians. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and he converted. Organized religion calls it a conversion. We call it a spiritual awakening. The same organized religion calls it testifying. We call it sharing. You know, this is an organized religion without the religion, a higher power, you know, God, but you don't have to call him God. You can call it whatever you want to. You don't have to believe in anything. If you look online and it says a free thinkers meeting, usually it's an atheist meeting. And I've been to one just to see how they do it. They do it pretty much the same way we do, except I don't think they did the serenity prayer, and definitely did not do the Lord's Prayer. I don't give a crap what you believe or don't believe. Let me see how you live this thing. This is a great way of life. Don't overthink it. Don't try to understand it. You know why so many people have a problem finding God? God isn't lost. God is not lost. Don't go looking for God.
I just want to mention that Saul was a tent maker by trade. He was a tent maker.
You said that God is not lost.
Yeah, people are looking for God. They're trying to find God, but God isn't lost. Right. So I love this thing. I think that they attribute it to William Blake, and it's about finding your higher power by helping other people. I sought my soul, but my soul I could not see. I sought my God, but my God eluded me. I sought my brother, and I found all three. Just help another human being, and you've already found him.
Amen.
He's already got you. He's already in you.
Amen.
I sought my soul, but my soul I could not see. I sought my God, but my God eluded me. I sought my brother, and I found all three. Don't go looking for God. Don't go looking for him. Just help another human being, and before you know it, you'll realize, damn, I've already got him.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Anybody else want to say anything before we finish?
Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you. That was a great experience for me. I enjoyed hearing what you guys had to say. Thank you.
We've been here an hour. So again, Theophilus, my name is John, Michelle, my Belle, Mama Rosie, and Tommy. Tommy, they missed me with that crap. Hey, come on, Tommy, say it for us. Say it.
Should I say the SH word?
Yeah. Say the yes.
Miss me with that shit.
Oh, God. Is that a Tommy saying?
Thank you guys for sharing your experience, strength, and hope on your higher power. You know, again, the topic of discussion today was what is your higher power and how did AA help you develop a relationship with your higher power? And I'm sure our members are going to enjoy listening to this. If you're out there, please subscribe, like, share, and comment on our videos. Share the videos, you know, it helps the YouTube algorithm get out there to more people, and comment on them. We reply to your comments. Check out our website at thezooCrew.org, thezooCrew.org, for all our podcasts, for all our YouTube links. Thank you guys for being here. See you next month.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.